If you ever wondered how to keep an eye on all the things that are happening inside your ClickUp workspace without necessarily being assigned to all the tasks, in this video, we'll be breaking down what ClickUp task followers are and how you can use this feature to keep an eye on all the important things that are happening inside your ClickUp account. And by the way, if you wonder how to set up ClickUp for your business and how to make it work for your specific use case, check the links in the description below for more information. So now let's dive into this. All right, so let's start with basics. Let's go into our ClickUp account and see how ClickUp task followers look from there. We're going to navigate to one of the tasks that we have inside our ClickUp workspace. It doesn't really matter where that task is. It should work with any task inside your ClickUp account. I'm gonna go and open this Clean Up Old Candidate Profiles task in my workspace. And here at the top right corner, you'll be able to see a little bell icon, which basically tells you how many followers are following this current task. Now, if you read this, it says notify me on all activity for this task, which means basically followers are people who are not assigned to the task, but who are following all the activities that are happening for this specific task. This way, whether you're a business owner or a business manager, you can easily add yourself to all the tasks where you need to keep an eye on all the progress or all the things that are happening inside those tasks without assigning yourself to those tasks. Now, it's important to mention that whenever you're changing the assignee or assigning person to any task inside your workspace, ClickUp will automatically add that person to the followers list in here. So again, at the same time, you can add people to the followers list so they can follow the task without being assigned to that task. At the same time, you can also remove people from the followers list if they no longer want to receive notifications about that task. So let's say a specific part of the process was completed by one of the team members, and again, they're getting those annoying notifications about some other team member completing the rest of the task. They don't want to get that, so you would go in here inside the followers list in here and then just click on the X button to exclude them from the followers list for this specific task. Now, you might also be asking yourself of what's the difference between followers and assignees. And again, the way I like to think about this is assignees are basically people who are responsible for completing the task, while followers can be anyone else on this team, right? It can be your project managers, it can be yourself, again, if you want to keep track of what's going on inside that task. So you could potentially add yourself or someone else who needs to keep an eye on the task as an assignee as well, but I don't like to do this because it brings a lot of confusion in terms of who is responsible for the task and who needs to make sure that this task gets moved forward. So again, to prevent that confusion, just make sure to use followers instead of assignees when you want just that person to keep an eye on the task and make sure that they know what's happening and what's the progress on the task, instead of making them actually responsible by assigning them to the task. All right, so now as we understand what ClickUp task followers are and what's the difference between task assignees and task followers, the question becomes, how do we control what notifications we're getting from ClickUp? Because I know you can agree that sometimes ClickUp sends just overwhelming amount of messages. And again, we want to prevent that and want to focus only on notifications that matter to us and to our specific use case. So in order to do this, we need to navigate to the left top corner of the account, click on your icon over here, and then click on the settings right here. And if you scroll down under My Settings section, you're going to click on Notifications. And this is where you will see the notification settings for 4 different types of notifications. We have inbox, we have email, we have browser, and we also have a mobile app. Now, for each of these options, you can choose from the drop-down whether it's a default ClickUp recommended settings, whether it's focused, or maybe you want to set up some custom notifications. Now, I like to use custom, and in this example, it shows you this little settings icon. When you click on it, it's going to show you an expanded kind of settings menu where you can expand either of these options and basically decide which notifications do you want to receive inside, in this example, your email inbox. This way, when you're added as a follower to the task, you're not just receiving all the possible notifications about that specific task, but you're only receiving notifications that you set up inside your ClickUp account notification settings right in here. So hopefully this makes your life easier and your inbox not so overwhelmed with all the ClickUp messages about the ClickUp changes that are happening inside your account. Now, the last question that I want to review in this video is, you might think that going into the every single task inside your ClickUp account, and adding yourself or someone else from the team as a follower to those tasks might be a little bit overwhelming. And it really is. If you have a lot of tasks, dozens and dozens of tasks, it might take a lot of your time. So this is where ClickUp Automations can help us. Now, in order to enable ClickUp Automation for the followers, you can do this in two ways. First, you need to navigate to one of the lists or locations. It can be set up on the space, on the folder, or on the list level. In this example, I'm looking at my list level, which is called admin tasks. I'm gonna go and click on the automation button from right here. Now, in this window, you can see in other automations, it's gonna say auto follow. If I click on that, it will prompt me to select the person, so I can select myself. And every single time a new task gets created inside this location, and again, we're set it up on the list level, so it's going to be specific to this list. If you do this on the space or folder level, that's going to be applied to the space or folder level settings. But every time a new task gets created inside this location, I will be added as a follower to this task, not as this assignee. And this way, I can kind of keep an eye on all the things that are happening inside this specific location. This way, you can have multiple locations. In one list, you're going to have your HR manager who will be assigned or added as a follower to all the tasks. In another list, you might have a different manager that is managing a different process or a different part of the business who's going to be added as a follower to all this tasks. So again, they can keep an eye on all the progress that is happening inside that list or inside that folder or space. Now, if you want to get a little bit more advanced with ClickUp Automations, the second way to set up or add followers to your ClickUp tasks is by going and creating a full automation. So you can click on the Create Automation button from here. And again, you will need to set up your trigger and your action. So inside the action, what we need to do, we need to find a follower, which is going to say Change Followers. So this way you can automatically add or remove followers from your task. And again, the trigger can be anything you want and anything that is available inside your ClickUp automation. It can be whether a new task gets created, which we just set up again a second ago. It can be a custom field change. Maybe you want to remove or add new followers to the task when a status gets changed. So again, it's one of the most popular options. For example, your task goes through 5 different statuses, and when it goes to the 3rd status, you want to be added as a follower because something is happening that you want to know about and that you want to keep an eye on. So this automation just makes it easier for you to again get automatically added to those tasks without people forgetting to add you as a follower or send you notifications. So again, makes life really easier if set up correctly. So now hopefully you have a better understanding of how to keep an eye on all the important things that are happening inside your ClickUp account without assigning yourself to all the tasks inside your ClickUp workspace. If you have any questions about ClickUp task followers or ClickUp assignees or the automations that we covered in this video, feel free to post them in the comments below. If you want to learn more about how to make ClickUp work for your business and how to set it up for your specific use case, check the links in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.